The day my world cracked open began with a single whisper of dread, a whisper that did not belong to the living. My name is Elara Quinn, and at 67 years old, I believed I had already survived every sorrow life could carve into a heart. I was wrong. I stood at the edge of a grave beneath a sky heavy with silver clouds, a wooden casket lowered into the earth, a name carved upon it, a name belonging to the man I had spent 44 years loving, a man I was told had died quietly in his sleep. Ronan Quinn, my husband, my anchor in every storm. The pastor murmured blessings, neighbors bowed their heads, but I felt hollow as an abandoned home. The grief was thick, cold, and strange, as though something vital was missing, something I could not yet name. Then my phone vibrated inside my coat. A single message, sent from an unregistered number. I am not dead. My breath shattered, my vision blurred. Another message appeared before I could blink. That body is not mine, and you are not safe with our daughter. I pressed the phone to my chest. The world spun like a torn wheel, losing its spokes. Our daughter? Talia, the child I had raised in warmth and devotion. The girl who once clung to my skirt in her first school days, who now stood only a few feet from me with a calmness too still to feel natural. I looked at her, her black dress immaculate, her eyes unreadable, her face composed in a way that set every instinct inside me trembling. She stepped toward me with a soft voice. "Mother, do you need air? Are you dizzy?" I forced a nod. My hands were shaking, my voice trapped in my throat. I wanted to ask her something, anything, but the words in the message echoed like a drumbeat of doom. "You are not safe." Talia guided me to the car, her hand gentle yet cold. Too cold. I felt the pressure of her fingers, not comforting, not protective, measured, controlled. When we reached home, the house felt wrong, too neat, too quiet, like someone had wiped the air clean of all the memories Ronan and I had made. The life we had shaped within these walls seemed erased, piece by piece. Talia made tea and placed a cup before me. "Drink this, it will calm you." But the warning in the message coiled inside my gut. I watched the cup, the steam rising, thin, pale, curling like a ghost trying to escape. I could not lift it to my lips. I told her I was too tired. I lied. I was too frightened. She watched me closely, her expression unreadable, like someone studying a puzzle piece that no longer fits. Later in my room, I locked the door and reread the messages again and again. The words pulsed with terror. "I am not dead. You are not safe." I needed to breathe. I needed answers. I needed to know the truth. Ronan had been healthy, strong, walking each morning, fixing anything that broke in the house with his steady, capable hands. 2 nights before his supposed death, he had kissed my forehead and promised he would repair the loose stair rail by the end of the week. Bright eyes, steady smile, alive. Yet the doctor had said his heart simply stopped, a peaceful passing. But I had noticed the doctor never once met my eyes. He spoke quickly, clinically, as if rehearsed. Talia took the lead in all arrangements. She planned the funeral, she spoke to the doctor, she handled the paperwork, she insisted on a swift burial. She said it was what Ronan would want. But Ronan always told me, give me sky, give me time, let nothing rush my last days on earth. And yet everything had been rushed, every step, every detail. Now, with these messages, everything began to shift, like the picture I had accepted was suddenly peeling away, revealing something darker underneath. Who sent them? How did they know? Could Ronan still be alive somewhere? Hidden, taken, forced away. The fear was deep, but beneath it, a single ember of determination sparked. I needed to know the truth. I needed to see the last places Ronan had been. I needed to go to the clinic where the doctor had signed his death certificate. But first, I needed to make sure Talia would not stop me. I waited until she fell asleep. Her door closed, her footsteps silent, her breathing faint through the thin hallway. I moved quietly, my heart pounding. I slipped out of the house beneath the violet sweep of night, the moon thin and sharp, a blade observing from above. I had not driven in months, but my hands remembered, steady on the wheel, eyes fixed ahead. The clinic stood on a lonely road, its windows dark, its parking lot empty, a place that should have been at rest, yet my pulse told me otherwise. I approached the entrance, a soft glow from within, one office light burning, one shadow shifting behind the frosted glass, a figure still present at this late hour. The doctor. I stepped closer, but before I reached the door, a new message arrived. Do not go inside. Someone is waiting for you. Someone who knows you are asking questions. My hand froze. A shape moved near the door, a silhouette, broad-shouldered, unfamiliar. Not the doctor, someone else. I backed away slowly, my breath shallow, the night colder, the truth heavier. Another message came. You must investigate Ronan's last 3 days. Someone lied. Someone close. Someone who wants the money he hid. Money! Ronan never mentioned money. We lived simply, comfortably, nothing extravagant. But the message continued. There is a key. Ronan left it for you. Look under the loose floorboard in his workshop. Beware, Talia. I drove home with trembling fans, every street lamp flashing like an accusation, every shadow holding secrets I was not meant to know. Before entering the house, I checked each window, every light, every curtain. Talia slept, or pretended to. In the darkness of my room, I sat on the edge of the bed. Everything around me felt wrong, changed, dangerous. My Ronan, alive, taken, hidden, or something even worse. A final message came just before dawn. Part 1 of the truth is waiting in the workshop. Go before Talia wakes up. What Elara finds in the workshop will unravel everything she believed about her husband, her daughter, and the life she built. Dawn crept across the sky like a bruised ribbon as I slipped out of the house. I moved without sound, without breath, without hesitation. The strange messages had woven fear into every corner of my mind, yet they also guided me with an eerie certainty. The workshop waited at the far end of our property, a small wooden building where Ronan spent countless afternoons tinkering, repairing, carving, crafting life out of silence. The air stung with cold, but my nerves burned hotter. The path to the workshop felt longer than ever. Every step sharpened my heartbeat. Every memory seemed to whisper warnings. When I reached the door, I found it slightly ajar. That alone sent a cold shiver down my back. Ronan always shut it tight. He treated that place like a sanctuary. No one touched it without his blessing, not even Talia. I pushed the door slowly. Its hinges groaned. The sound sliced through the morning stillness like a blade. Inside the workshop, the shadows seemed thicker, more alive. Tools hung in perfect rows. Dust rested on the windows. Everything looked untouched, but the air felt wrong, as if someone had been here after Ronan was gone. I stepped inside. My pulse quickened. I knew exactly where the loose floorboard was. Ronan had shown me once, during a stormy night when thunder shook the walls. He hid little sentimental things there. Old letters, photos, small trinkets he could not throw away. I never imagined he might hide something dangerous, something meant to protect me. Or warn me. I knelt beside the floorboard, my hands trembling as I pried it open. Beneath it lay a small metal tin, plain, dusty, ordinary, yet somehow radiating fear. I lifted it with care. The tin felt heavier than its size should allow. Inside, I found a key tied to a folded sheet of paper. The handwriting on the note was unmistakably Ronan's. My dearest Elara, if you are reading this, something has gone terribly wrong. Someone has been watching us, someone close. Do not trust Talia. Do not trust anyone she brings into our home. My hands instinctively tightened around the paper. My heart quivered like a trapped bird. The note continued. I discovered something at my job that I was not meant to see. I found records involving our daughter, records she believed she had destroyed, records that could ruin everything she has built. She is not the person you think she is. Please be careful. She is capable of anything. I stared at the words, unable to breathe. Talia? Our daughter? Capable of anything? The room spun around me slowly. I read the final lines again and again. The key opens the locker at Ridgeway Storage Unit 37. If I do not come home one night, go there. Trust no one, not even her. The paper slipped from my hand. My throat tightened. All the warmth I once knew about Talia seemed to crumble into dust. But why would Ronan suspect her? What had she hidden? What had she destroyed? What could be in that storage locker? Before I could process any of it, the floor creaked behind me. A soft, subtle shift. Someone else was in the workshop. I spun around, my breath frozen in my chest. A shadow hovered near the doorway, tall, still, watching. I could not see a face, only a silhouette shaped by the faint early light. The figure stepped closer, quiet, deadly. Each step a warning. I backed against Ronan's old workbench, gripping the key tightly, like a weapon. Who is there? I whispered, though the air seemed to swallow my voice. The shadow did not answer. It reached for the workshop door, pushing it wider. Light spilled in. The outline sharpened. It was not Talia. It was a man. Broad shoulders, steady walk, unfamiliar presence. He stared at me through the half-light, his expression unreadable, his silence crushing. Then I heard it. The crunch of gravel outside. Another set of footsteps approaching. Fast, determined. Talia. She called my name from outside, her voice coded in false concern, or maybe true concern. I could no longer tell the difference. Mother, Are you out there? Why are you awake so early? We need to talk. Please come inside." The man beside the door did not move. He simply tilted his head slightly, as if listening, as if judging whether I was safe or doomed. I looked at him. He looked at me. He raised one finger to his lips, a silent command. "Do not answer her." My breath tangled. My thoughts scattered. Why should I trust him? Why should I trust anyone? How did he know I needed silence? Talia called again, her voice sharper this time. "Mother, do not ignore me. Are you in the workshop? Open the door." The man stepped back into the shadows and whispered a single phrase, barely audible. "You must not let her see that key." I froze. He knew about the key. How? Who was he? He slipped out the back door of the workshop, leaving no trace. By the time I reached the window to look for him, he had vanished into the morning mist. Talia entered the workshop seconds later, her expression tight, eyes sharp with something I could not decipher. "Mother, what are you doing out here so early?" Her voice quivered slightly. Not sadness, not fear, something else. A crack of tension trying to hide, trying to mask its true shape. I tucked the key into my sleeve. Careful, quiet. She must not see it. She must never know I had it. I forced a weak smile. "I just needed fresh air, and I missed your father." Her eyes softened, but only on the surface. Inside them, a storm brewed, a storm I had never seen before. She stepped closer, too close, as if studying me, measuring me, looking for something out of place. She reached out, her fingers brushing my arm. I flinched. I felt the key press against my skin. Hidden. Safe. For now. "Mother," she whispered, "I need to ask you something. Something important. Something about Dad." I swallowed hard, the morning air tightening around me like a rope. "What about him?" I managed to ask. She leaned in, her voice dropping into a tone I had not heard since she was a child, frightened of the dark. Except it was not fear now. It was calculation. "I need to know if he told you anything before he died. Anything at all. Something that belonged to him. Something he kept hidden." Her eyes burned into mine, searching, hunting. My heart pounded. My mind raced. Who was this girl standing before me? What had she done? What had she suspected I knew? The silence stretched, a moment as delicate as glass, yet ready to shatter. I finally whispered, "No, he told me nothing." Her lips curved into a cold, almost relieved smile that chilled me. She believed me. For now. Elara must get to the storage locker before anyone follows her, but the truth hidden there is darker than she imagines. The air inside the workshop felt heavier after Talia left, as though her presence had drained all the warmth from the wood walls and left only shadows clinging to the corners. I waited until her footsteps faded toward the house. I waited until the silence settled like a warning. Then I pressed my palm against the hidden key tucked in my sleeve. Its cold edge steadied me. My next step was clear. I had to reach the Ridgeway storage facility. I had to see what Ronan hid. I had to learn why he feared our daughter. The sun rose slowly as I walked back toward the house. Light spilled through the trees, but none of it felt gentle. It felt like an interrogation, every ray exposing secrets I was not ready to face. I could not let Talia delay me. I could not let her see the fear clawing at my chest. Inside the house, she stood at the counter pouring tea. Her eyes shifted toward me with unnatural calm. "Mother, you left so early," she said. I did not want to worry. I only wanted to clear my mind. "You should rest." Her fingers tightened around the mug, not enough to crack it, just enough to show tension beneath her gentle mask. She was afraid. But of what? Of me? Or of what I might discover? I forced a nod and went upstairs. My heart thumped like a fist on a locked door. I packed a few things quietly: my wallet, my coat, a scarf to hide the key if needed, and a small old phone Ronan once insisted we keep as a backup. I hesitated before leaving my room. What if she stopped me? What if she followed me? What if she already knew? I stepped outside with steady feet and a trembling spirit. The driveway stretched ahead like a narrow path toward danger. I reached my old car. The engine coughed awake. I prayed it would not betray me with noise. I eased down the road. The house shrank behind me until it became a shadow, swallowed by the trees. Only when I reached the end of our street did my phone vibrate. A new message from the unknown sender. "She searched your room after you left. Do not go back today." My breath caught. A weight settled in my stomach. Talia was already suspicious. I had no time to lose. The drive to Ridgeway was long. Fields spread out on both sides. Bare branches scraped the sky. The world outside looked empty, yet every mile carried a threat. Someone could be following. Someone could be watching. I checked the rearview mirror. Nothing. But fear is clever. It invents footsteps in silence. Ridgeway Storage sat on the outskirts of town. Rows of dull metal units lined up like soldiers guarding secrets. The office was closed. A sign taped to the window read, "Back in 10 minutes." Yet no one was inside. I stepped deeper into the property. Rows of units loomed, numbers painted in fading red. Unit 37. The one Ronan warned me about, the one he locked away before everything collapsed. The key felt heavier now. I slid it into the lock. My pulse echoed in my ears. The latch clicked. The door rolled upward with a metallic groan. Dust swirled in the dimness. I stepped inside. Boxes, stacks of papers, a metal cabinet, and something covered with a gray tarp in the corner. I approached the tarp first. My hand shook as I lifted the edge. Underneath was a heavy safe, not a box, not a chest, a reinforced steel safe. Ronan had never mentioned owning one. He never hid things from me, not until now. Beside it lay a folder, thick, overstuffed, labeled with a single word in Ronan's careful handwriting: Talia. The air seemed to leave my lungs. My vision narrowed. I reached for the folder. Paper brushed my fingers. Cold, fragile, dangerous. I opened it. Inside were documents, hospital records, financial transactions, copies of police complaints, and something darker. Familiar signatures forged in shapes I recognized. My daughter's handwriting where my own should have been. Applications for loans, forms for withdrawals, paperwork naming Talia as beneficiary for accounts I never knew existed. My heart pounded. Sweat beaded at my temples. Ronan had uncovered something monstrous, something that changed everything I thought I knew about our daughter. But it was the last section of the folder that turned my blood to ice. A stack of medical documents, all belonging to different elderly patients from a local care home where Talia once worked. Every page marked with unusual patterns, sudden, unexplained deaths, signatures that were not legitimate, medication logs altered. Ronan had circled every suspicious item. Beside one page, He had written in small, desperate writing, "She has done this before." My breath trembled. My knees weakened. A cold dread seeped into my bones. Was Talia involved in those deaths? Had my husband discovered this? Was this why he feared her? A soft sound broke the stillness, a crunch of gravel outside, light footsteps approaching. I froze. Someone was here. I extinguished the light of my phone and stepped behind the metal cabinet. Careful, silent, barely breathing. The footsteps grew closer. A shadow darkened the entrance of the storage unit. Slow, calm, as if whoever stood there already knew what they would find. Mother. Her voice. Talia. It crawled through the thin silence like a serpent, searching for warmth. Mother, I know you are here. I saw your car outside. I pressed against the cold metal. My heart raced, my throat locked. Fear dripped down my spine like melting ice. She stepped inside, her silhouette sharp against the pale morning. Why did you come here? Why did you go through Dad's things? Her tone cracked, not with sorrow, but with anger, controlled and simmering beneath the surface. She stood inches from the tarp, her hand brushing its edge, as if she sensed something beneath it. I had to make a choice, reveal myself, or remain hidden and hope she left. But Talia turned slowly, her eyes scanning the shadows, her steps deliberate, predatory. Her voice, a quiet threat. Mother, if you are hiding, you should come out, because we cannot keep secrets from each other anymore. Her hand drifted toward her coat pocket, as though reaching for something I did not want to see. I squeezed the key in my fist, trying to gather courage from cold metal, trying to breathe through the terror. Talia took one more step. Then, a loud knock on metal echoed through the row of units. She jerked her head toward the noise. Another knock. Closer. Harder. Footsteps. Different ones. Deeper. Faster. A man's voice called out, "Elara! Are you in there?" The stranger from the workshop, his voice urgent, commanding, protective. Talia tensed. Her shoulders stiffened, her breath hitched. Her plan, whatever it was, fractured. She whispered sharply, "Mother, do not listen to him. He is dangerous." But something in her voice, something frantic, something exposed, told me she was lying. The moment the stranger's voice echoed across the metal corridor, something inside me shifted. Fear and hope collided in a single trembling breath. Talia stood frozen, her eyes narrowed, her jaw clenched, as though she had not expected anyone to find us. Her hand remained inside her coat pocket, still, coiled, waiting. The stranger called again, "Elara, answer me. Are you in there?" His tone held urgency, yet no malice, and that alone made my pulse steady for a heartbeat. Talia glanced toward the open doorway, her nostrils flaring with a quiet mix of frustration and something darker. "Mother, do not move," she whispered, her voice small yet sharpened like a blade. "I am handling this." Handling what? Handling me? Handling what I had discovered? Handling what she feared would come next? Before she could take another step, the stranger appeared in the doorway, a tall silhouette cut against the harsh morning light. He stepped inside the unit slowly, hands visible, unthreatening, eyes sharp with determination. "Elara, we need to go now," he said, his voice low and steady. Talia reacted before I could. She moved in front of me, like a guardian or a cage, I could not tell which. "Who are you? And why are you following my mother?" Her tone wavered between accusation and panic. He met her eyes without hesitation. "My name is Rafe Calderon. I was a friend of Ronan's. He trusted me. He asked me to protect her." At the sound of my husband's name, something flickered in the stranger's expression. Grief? Resolve? Memory? I could not decipher them, but they felt real, not crafted like Talia's practiced calm. Rafe. The name rolled through my mind like a half-remembered echo. Had Ronan mentioned him? Had he hinted at this? No. Or maybe yes. Or maybe I had forgotten small things, trapped in the fog of grief. Talia took a step closer to him. Her voice sharpened. "My father trusted no one, least of all strangers. Leave now, or I call the authorities." Rafe tilted his head slightly, a gesture almost pitying, almost knowing. "Your father trusted me enough to give me the evidence he could not keep. He trusted me enough to warn me about you." The air snapped like a stretched string ready to break. Talia's face drained of color. Her lips trembled for only a second, barely visible, yet unmistakable. "You are lying." She looked at me quickly, almost pleading, almost furious. "Mother, he is lying to divide us. Please listen to me. He is manipulating you, just like he manipulated Dad." Her words struck me hard. A storm of confusion spun inside me. Was she afraid of losing control, or truly trying to protect me? Every breath felt like walking blindfolded through fire. Rafe took another step inside the storage unit. He lifted his hands higher to show he held nothing. "Elara, your husband left a message for you. I have it, but we need to leave right now because this place is not safe. You were followed here." Followed? The word slammed through my chest. By whom? By Talia? By someone else? By the shadow from the clinic? My heart, Talia spun toward me, anger devouring her composure. "Mother, do not go with him. You have no idea who he is. Dad never involved him in anything. This man is a stranger." But the tremor in her voice betrayed something. Fear. Not for me. For herself. Talia reached into her coat pocket again. I flinched. Rafe moved instantly, his arm extended in front of me like a shield. He spoke with a growl I had never heard. "Do not pull anything out of that pocket." For a moment, time froze. Dust floated in stillness around us. Light flickered across Talia's eyes. Her fingers stopped. She withdrew her hand. Empty. For now. "Enough," she whispered, her voice low, bitter, trembling. "I will not let you drag her away from me. She is confused. She is vulnerable. And you are taking advantage of her grief." Rafe turned his head slightly toward me. "Elara, do you trust your instincts? Just your instincts. Not the words you hear, not the voices around you." My instincts? They had been whispering warnings. Long before the strange messages. Long before the funeral. Long before the fear crept inside my bones. My instincts screamed that something about Talia had shifted months ago. Her distance, her coldness, the strange calls, the secret meetings, her late nights, her rapid defensiveness, her eagerness to handle all the arrangements, her insistence on a fast burial. None of it matched the daughter I raised. None of it felt like grief. It felt like anticipation. I opened my mouth, but no words escaped. Only silence. A silence Talia interpreted instantly. She lunged, not at Rafe, at the folder labeled with her name. "No!" I shouted, my voice raw. She grabbed the folder, her hands shaking, her breath breaking. She looked like a cornered animal, wild, afraid, desperate. "Let it go, Rafe," Rafe warned. "If you destroy that folder, you destroy your last chance to save yourself." Save herself? The phrase wrapped around my mind like a burning vine. Why would she need saving? What had she done? What did Ronan discover? Talia clutched the folder tighter, her voice cracking like a brittle branch. "Mother, please, do not let him do this. You have no idea who he is. Dad never involved him in anything. This man is a stranger." But a loud metallic crash shook the entire row of storage units. Rafe grabbed my arm, pulling me back. Talia spun toward the noise. Another crash followed, heavy footsteps running, shadows shifting. Someone was here. Not one person, multiple. The sound of boots scraping metal. Fast, hard, icy. Rafe whispered fiercely, "They found us. We have to go now. Elara, move!" Talia froze, her eyes wide with sudden alarm. She clutched the folder like a lifeline, her voice barely a breath. "They should not be here." Rafe pushed me toward the back door of the unit. "Run! Now!" Another crash. Closer. A voice from the shadows shouted, "Grab the girl and the old woman before they leave." Girl. Old woman. They were coming for both of us. For a terrifying heartbeat, Talia reached toward me. "Mother, come with me instead. Please. We don't have time." Her hand shook. Fear overtook her face. Not coldness, not deceit, real fear. But for whom? For herself? For me? For both? Rafe pulled me again, his voice sharp. "Elara, choose now!" Behind us, the footsteps thundered closer. Shadows lunged. My heart shattered. A choice forged from terror, from truth, from the secrets in the folder. I grabbed the cold metal of Rafe's sleeve, trusting the only path that did not feel like a trap. Talia gasped, "Mother, no! Please!" But I had already stepped back, already chosen, already falling into a new world. Rafe pulled me through the back exit just as the first intruder collided with the front door of Unit 37. The world outside exploded in chaos.
Cold air slashed across my face as Rafe dragged me behind the row of storage units. The morning light had sharpened into a fierce glare, cutting across the metal corridors like a blade. Behind us, shouts rose like fire. Heavy boots thudded against concrete. The intruders were close. Too close. The world had shifted into a nightmare sprint, and every breath scorched my lungs. Rafe pulled me with relentless urgency, his grip steady, his movements precise, as though he had rehearsed this escape 100 times. We ducked behind a dumpster, then slipped between two units, barely a whisper in the rising chaos. Shadows darted across the entrance of Unit 37. Voices barked orders. Metal screeched as the intruders forced their way inside. I heard Talia scream, raw and terrified. Not the calculated cold tone she had shown me all morning. This one held real fear, a fear that sliced through my heart. "Mother, help me!" The cry echoed through the metal rows, tangled with pounding footsteps, twisted with the sound of strangers closing in on her. I froze, my legs locked. I could not leave her. No matter what she had done, no matter what Ronan had uncovered, she was still my daughter, the child I had raised, the girl I once held against my chest as she cried over scraped knees and broken friendships. I tried to turn back, but Rafe grabbed my arm harder. His eyes burned with desperate urgency. "Elara, if we go back now, we die, both of us, and she will not survive either. We need to get out and call the one person who can help her. His words slammed through my chest. The one person? Who? Someone Ronan had trusted? Someone who still lived in the shadows of his secrets? Rafe tugged me again, and I forced myself to move. The ground beneath my feet felt like shifting sand, every heartbeat a painful reminder that I was choosing survival over my daughter, over everything I once believed about family, about loyalty, about love. We reached the fence at the back of the property, a tall chain-link barrier stretching endlessly. Rafe climbed first, moving with the agility of someone used to danger. He reached down and pulled me up. My arms trembled, my shoes slipped, but he hauled me over and we dropped onto the other side. The moment my feet hit the dirt, he spoke urgently. Come on, we need to get to the woods before they circle around. I followed him through a narrow path leading into a small strip of trees. Branches clawed at my sleeves. Twigs snapped underfoot. Each sound felt like a beacon for the intruders. My pulse hammered louder than the wind. After several minutes of running, Rafe finally stopped. He crouched behind a fallen log, breathing hard, eyes scanning the distance like a hawk measuring danger. I leaned against a tree, struggling to catch my breath. My entire body shook. Fear, exhaustion, shock. Everything collided inside me. Rafe turned to me. His expression softened just enough to show the gravity of what he was about to say. Elara, we do not have much time, but I need to tell you the truth before we move again. All of it. No more fragments. I nodded, though my heart felt like a fragile shell ready to crack. Tell me everything, I whispered. He took a slow breath, then began. Ronan came to me 6 months ago. He had discovered a series of unexplained deaths at the care home where Talia worked, but that was only the beginning. He uncovered money transfers hidden through shell accounts, transactions tied to an underground group, people who pay for access to vulnerable patients, people who eliminate witnesses, people who protect those who work for them. His words dug into my mind like icy claws. The world around me dimmed. My heartbeat faded. A ringing filled my ears. Protect those who work for them? Did he mean my daughter? Rafe continued. Your husband realized Talia had been involved in something she could not escape, something she did not fully understand when it began, but the deeper she went, the more dangerous it became. He tried to get her out. He begged her to leave her job. He confronted people above her. He threatened to expose them. A low groan escaped my throat. Memories flickered to life. Arguments between Ronan and Talia, her sudden defensiveness, her nights away, her coldness, the way she stopped looking him in the eye. Rafe kept speaking. They warned him. Stop investigating. Stop asking questions. Stop digging. But he refused. He loved you, and he loved her. He tried to save both of you. My vision blurred. Tears pushed to the surface. Not soft, gentle tears. Tears that carved through me like fire. Rafe looked at me with painful honesty. He found proof that Talia forged your signature, that she accessed your accounts, that she was being used, threatened, manipulated. He discovered she had been promised money, a new life, safety, if she helped them cover the deaths, if she stayed silent. My stomach twisted, every breath turned sharp. She was trapped, Elara. And when she tried to back out, they came for Ronan. My knees buckled. I sank into the cold ground. The truth hit me like a collapsing roof. My husband had not died peacefully. He had been silenced because he fought for us. And Talia, my daughter, had been drowning in a world too dark for her to escape. Rafe knelt in front of me, his voice firm, steady, not cruel, not soft, grounded. You have to understand, he said. Talia did things she should never have done, but she was not acting alone. They used her, and now they want to erase every loose thread. That includes her, and that includes you. I covered my face. The forest spun. Wind pushed through the leaves like restless ghosts. Everything I had known was shattered. Rafe placed a hand lightly on my shoulder. We can still save her, but you cannot go back. Not yet. You need a safe place. Then we get the rest of the evidence. Then we expose them. All of them. I looked up with trembling resolve. What about Talia? What if they hurt her? What if she blames me? Rafe shook his head, his eyes dark with certainty. They will not hurt her yet. She is valuable to them, but they will try to use her to get to you, which means you must stay hidden. Stay hidden? While my daughter faced monsters? While my husband had died trying to save her? While strangers hunted me through the shadows? Rafe stood and offered his hand. We move now. I am taking you to someone Ronan trusted more than anyone. Someone who knows how to disappear. Someone who has been waiting for my signal. I hesitated, every instinct torn between running back to Talia and trusting the path before me. But the sound of distant voices rising behind the trees pushed me forward. I placed my hand in Rafe's. His grip was steady, grounding. He whispered, "We will get her back. I promise." We slipped deeper into the woods, towards the unknown, towards the truth, towards the next and darkest part of the story. Elara meets the mysterious ally Ronan trusted and learns the final secret he died protecting, but the group hunting them is closer than anyone realizes.
The forest stretched before us like a labyrinth woven from ancient secrets. Rafe led the way, moving through the tangled undergrowth with the confidence of someone who had walked these shadows many times. My breath rose in sharp, cold bursts. Fear still clawed at my ribs, but beneath it, something new flickered. A fragile thread of determination. A stubborn refusal to be destroyed by the truth now unraveling around me. We pushed through the final line of trees and emerged onto a narrow dirt road hidden between the hills. An old cabin sat at the edge of the clearing. Weathered wood, crooked roof, dark windows. It looked abandoned, empty, a place where silence lived. But something in the air told me it was far from lifeless. Rafe slowed his pace. He scanned the tree line, then the cabin, then the road behind us. Only when he was certain we were alone did he turn to me. "This is where he would come when he needed space," he said quietly. "Your husband? He met someone here months before he died." My heart tightened. The idea of Ronan seeking help from a stranger in a hidden cabin felt foreign, almost surreal. Yet everything in my world had shifted so violently, I no longer knew where normal ended and impossible began. Rafe knocked on the door 3 times. A pattern. Short, long, short. The wood echoed, and the still air trembled. For a long moment nothing happened. Then a faint shuffle came from inside. A lock turned. A bolt slid. The door opened. A woman stood framed in the doorway, tall, sharp-eyed, her hair streaked with silver. Her presence held the steadiness of someone who had seen storms far darker than anything I could imagine. She studied me with quiet intensity. Her gaze did not judge. It calculated, measured, understood. "So you are Elara," she said, her voice low and edged with an old sorrow. "Ronan spoke of you often." The mention of his name from her lips pierced me, like a fragile memory resurfacing, like a wound reopening. "Come inside. We do not have long," she said. "They will search the roads soon." Inside the cabin, the air smelled of cedar and old books. Maps covered the walls, notes pinned in clusters, photographs, newspaper clippings, strings connecting pieces like a web woven from truth and danger. The woman gestured to a small table. "Sit, both of you. I will explain. Rafe closed the door behind us. His eyes met hers with a familiarity that told me they had worked together before. She was no stranger to him. My name is Mara Wynne, she said. I am a former investigator, and I was the last person your husband trusted with his life. I swallowed, my voice fragile. Why? Why did he trust you? Why would he come to you instead of me? Her expression softened with something like grief. Because he did not want you anywhere near the people he was fighting. He believed if he told you, they would use you against him, or against your daughter. Her words carried the weight of scars. Scars she did not show, but her eyes revealed. Pain, loss, memory. Mara moved to the wall and pointed to a cluster of documents. This is the group Ronan uncovered. They call themselves the Lattice, a network of individuals embedded in institutions, hospitals, care homes, financial offices. They target vulnerable people, or people they can manipulate. People like Talia. My breath hitched. My throat tightened. Mara continued. The Lattice promised Talia protection, money, opportunity, a chance to climb higher in her career. But once she accepted their offer, even unknowingly, they owned her. And when she hesitated, they threatened her. When she tried to pull away, they came for Ronan. A tremor ran through my hands. The cabin walls seemed to pulse with the truth. Ronan had never been silent because of peace. He had been silenced because he fought monsters too powerful to face alone. Mara reached into a drawer. She returned with a small flash drive, slim, metallic, cold. She held it as though it was the heart of the entire story. This, she said, is what Ronan dined protecting, the evidence he gathered, the recordings, the documents, the transactions, everything that links Talia to them, and everything that proves she was coerced, forced, used. I stared at the drive, the truth condensed into something that could fit inside a clenched palm, something that could save my daughter or destroy her. I whispered, "Why did he not bring this to the police?" Mara shook her head. The Lattice owns people inside the system. If Ronan had walked into any station with this evidence, he would have been murdered within the day. And you would not be alive now. A cold wave washed through me. Ronan had lived in fear, fought in silence, and died alone to protect us, to protect her. Mara stepped closer, her gaze fixed on mine. Elara, you must understand. Talia made terrible choices, but she was preyed upon. She was cornered. She was manipulated. Ronan believed she could still be saved. At a cost. Your safety. Rafe spoke for the first time since entering the cabin. They know you were at the storage unit. They know you were with Talia. They know you escaped. They will come here next. Mara nodded. We have 1 hour, maybe less. Elara, you must leave with me. We know where they are keeping those they consider valuable. Talia is not dead, not yet. They need her, but she is running out of time. I felt my breath falter. So, she is alive. She is alive. Mara stepped closer, placing a steady hand on my arm. Yes, alive, but terrified, and losing faith that anyone can save her. Rafe lowered his voice to a whisper. We get your daughter back, but first we get you safe. If you fall, everything Ronan died for falls with you. A heavy silence settled, a silence thick with impossible choices. But beneath the fear, a new resolve ignited inside me, a fire that had been waiting for its moment. I stood tall, my voice no longer trembling. Take me to her. Take me to my daughter. Take me to the end of this. Mara exchanged a glance with Rafe. Both nodded. Both ready. She grabbed a backpack. Rafe checked the window. The sound of distant engines echoed across the hills. They were coming. Mara looked at me, her eyes sharp as a vow. This ends tonight. One way or another. We stepped toward the door, toward the danger, toward the truth Ronan left behind, toward the reckoning waiting in the shadows. Elara heads into the heart of the Lattice stronghold to rescue Talia and confront the mastermind behind Ronan's death. The final truth will twist everything she believes.
Night swallowed the hills as we left the cabin behind, its wooden bones disappearing into the dark like a vanishing memory. Rafe drove an old jeep that growled with every mile, yet carried us with steady determination. Mara sat beside him, scanning the forest road ahead, her hand resting on a small device that beeped softly with each passing signal. She said it tracked locations used by the Lattice, their routes, their safe houses, their hiding places. I sat in the back, gripping the flash drive with trembling fingers. Inside it lived the truth. Inside it lived the final echo of Ronan's courage. Inside it lived the last hope for Talia. Rafe spoke without turning. Elara, we are heading to the outskirts of the industrial zone. The Lattice operates out of a facility disguised as a distribution center. They keep anyone valuable on the lower level. They will not expect you. But they will expect us, Mara added quietly. Once we are inside, you must not leave my side. No matter what you hear, no matter what you see. There are people in there who can twist fear into obedience with a single word. You must stay focused. I nodded, though my heart thrashed like a trapped creature. Fear pulsed through my veins. Fear for myself. Fear for the truth. But mostly, fear for my daughter. The jeep slowed as we approached a series of abandoned warehouses. Rust clung to the walls like dried blood. Windows shattered, doors bent. But in the far corner, one structure stood too well maintained, too silent, too guarded. A place pretending to be dead while pulsing with secrets. That is the one, Rafe whispered. We parked behind a row of rusted trucks. Mara pulled a small device from her pocket and pressed it against a panel hidden near the loading dock. A faint click echoed. The back door unlocked. Inside the building, darkness clung to the walls. Cold air tasted like metal. Faint humming machines vibrated under the concrete. Every step carried the weight of danger crawling close. As we descended the stairs, I could hear distant footsteps, muffled voices, the scrape of machinery, and something else. Something softer, a trembling cry echoing through the hidden halls. Talia! Her voice cracked through the tunnel of shadows. A small cry, a desperate whisper. Help! I rushed forward, but Rafe pulled me back. Not yet! Wait for Mara! Mara scanned the hall, then nodded. We moved in silence, turning corners, avoiding cameras, walking through the veins of a monster that had swallowed too many lives. Finally, we reached a steel door. Behind it, I heard breathing, low, uneven, terrified. Mara forced the lock. The hinges moaned. And inside, curled on a thin metal cot, sat my daughter. Talia! Her hair tangled, her clothes torn, her eyes wide with fear that had carved itself into her bones. When she saw me, her entire body collapsed into sobs. Mother, you came! You came!
I fell to my knees and gathered her into my arms. The world around us disappeared. Her trembling body, her gasping breaths, her hands clutching me as though she feared I would vanish like smoke. Everything inside me shattered and rebuilt in the same breath. I whispered, "I am here. I will not let them take you. I will not lose you." But our reunion lasted only a moment. A heavy footstep echoed in the hall. Then another. Voices rose. They knew we were here. Mara pushed the door closed. Rafe braced against it. Talia sobbed harder. "I cannot go back. They will kill me." "No," I whispered fiercely. "Not while I breathe. Not while your father watches over us." Footsteps thundered closer. Shadows grew under the door. A voice boomed from the hallway. "Hand her over. Give us the girl, and we let you live alive." Mara leaned close to my ear. "Elara, we have one chance. There is a maintenance tunnel behind the wall panel. It leads outside to the riverbank. Once you get Talia out, you must run as far as you can. We will hold them off." My breath caught. "You will die." Mara looked at me with fierce calm. "I have lost everything else. I will not lose the last piece of Ronan's fight. Go now." Rafe gritted his teeth as the door shook from a heavy slam. "They are breaching. Move." I grabbed Talia, her body weak, her breath ragged. We pulled the metal panel free, revealing a narrow tunnel lined with old pipes. She squeezed my hand, her voice trembling. "Mother, you should leave me. They only want me. If you stay, you die." I cupped her face with both hands, tears burning. "I will never leave you. Not now, not ever." Behind us, the door cracked under force. Rafe shouted, "Elara, go!" I dragged Talia into the tunnel. The air grew tight, the walls closed in, darkness pressed at our backs. Then a blast tore through the room behind us. Sparks showered the tunnel. Shadows surged. Voices thundered. We crawled faster, our breath frantic, our hands bruising against rusted edges. At the end of the tunnel, a grate blocked the exit. I pushed with all my strength. It refused to move. Talia pushed beside me, her voice breaking. "We cannot stop now." Together, we shoved. The grate snapped free. Cold night air rushed in. We crawled into the open just as beams of flashlights darted inside the tunnel behind us. "Run!" I whispered. "Run!" We sprinted toward the river, feet stumbling, hearts roaring, the moonlight dripping across the water like liquid silver. Behind us, anger echoed, shouts, orders, footsteps. But the river swallowed the sound as we crossed the shallow edge and vanished into the woods on the other side. We kept running until our bodies gave out. Collapsed beneath the shelter of old trees, Talia curled into me sobbing. "Mother, I am sorry for everything, for all of it. Please forgive me." I held her, my voice soft. "Your father believed in you. So do I. We survive. We endure. We will tell the truth together." If you want to know how Elara and Talia rebuild their lives after escaping the Lattice and how justice finally arrives, watch again. Share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to like and subscribe for more gripping stories. Best regards, your Mama Syeda.